Hello and welcome back to IRS and welcome back to a brand new season. We're live for Tier 2 Round 1 at Great Britain, Silverstone. Some drivers coming out on track now in their brand new liveries, joining their new teams. Bubbly in the Ferrari, Kentrum in the Ferrari as well, Filippo in the Aston Martin. We've got Elmo in the Alpine, Finn Kits, the Season 10 champion, switching from McLaren to the Williams. The Burb in the Red Bull, Outlaw in the Mercedes, Luke plays in the Aston Martin, Just Picky, who's Masterpiece in the RB, new driver, Star Defender, also a new driver in the Red Bull alongside the Burb, IRS LB44 and Nick Broom switching from the Ferraris to the McLarens. So yeah, brand new season on the way with this 18-minute qualifying session as Filippo is the first driver on track. He's preparing himself for a lap. But Elmo just behind actually. It might overtake him into the last couple of corners maybe, which he does. So we'll stay on board with Elmo of the Void, who didn't race the last half of the season as Finn Kits has retired from session for some reason. In the Williams down the Hangar Straight, which is a bit of a weird place to DNF, but Elmo of the Void then. Coming through Sector 1 down the Wellington Straight, 27.6 Sector 1 time. Down into the fastest corner on the track, which is Cox Corner. And then up into Maggots and Beckett's for the first time. Flat out, a slight lift, and then change down into gear 5 for the exit onto the Hangar Straight. So 103.2. And this is where it all counts to finish the lap off strong. I set the first flying lap of the day, get a good exit onto the Hamilton Straight, and it's going to be a 1:26.8 for Elmo of the Void. Next up the two Ferraris, Bubbly crossing the line with a 28.1, Kentrum a 1:31.6, Outlaw Kakameste 3 or 4 tenths down on Elmo through Sector 2, crosses the line and goes just under a second away from Elmo into P2. Got Nick Broom in the McLaren diving into the pits, well driving into the pits. Filippo validated his lap. We've got the Burb who takes that corner quite sharply there, cut it quite a bit more than he probably would have wanted. Into the final corners we go. Can he take away pole from Elmo? No, we can't. Just under a tenth away from Elmo though, so top two in contention with each other. Just Picky in the RB. What sort of pace has he got? P4, just behind Outlaw. As Star Defender starts a flying lap as well. Might get a bit of slipstream from his teammate, who's only a couple of corners up the road. but I think Burb wants to get a win, so let me check the Discord. How many days is it? 476 days since Burb's last win. He's halfway there to what Hamilton had before his last win, where he won at Silverstone. Star defender coming through Beckett's, and he's on a 103.2, near enough matching Elmo. Star defender was getting a bit of a slipstream there, but didn't really pull behind the Burb, who was trying to help him out. Might have gained him a 10th. Here he comes then, into the final corner. Can take away pole from Elmo. Yes, he can. A 10th ahead. Star defender on his debut for Red Bull, taking provisional pole position. Kentrim with a 27.7 in the Ferrari. P4. Just checking if DMB Super Skills is online, which he's not. Anyone on a lap? Just picky, 2 temps down. Bubbly out of the IRS, so he's probably not going to improve anywhere around this lap. 2.1 down. IRS LB44 in the McLaren P12. No time set. Let's see what he's got. Has he made any improvements since season 10? It's a dry race as well, as I'm being told in the Discord. As we're on board with IRS LB44, who finished the standings in P9 last season with 57 points. Can he get any higher in the standings this season? He's not really using any ERS, so I think that was a warm-up lap where he's just made a mistake there, taking too much curb and too much throttle, spinning around on the exit of Beckett's. But yeah, championship leader Finn Kitts, who was over 120 points, just under 130 points in the lead of the championship when he won it. So a big difference. He's currently P11, no time set in qualifying. Will we see a different sort of season as the two McLarens both on a flying lap? 27.9 for Nick, who finished P14 in the standings with 17 points last season. He's definitely hoping for a better one this time, looking to get higher up in the points if he can. Got a bit unlucky with some issues with the game as well, which cost him some races where he was looking pretty good. Home Grand Prix for the two McLarens. I might be able to set some good times. He's on a 104.2, which ain't too bad. Second off Star Defender. Could see himself around Bubbly, just picky. He gets a good exit here. Ooh, couple of temps off Bubbly. P8 for Nick then. IRS LB44. About 6 temps off, 7 temps off his teammate. He's going to slot in P9. Well, he gained some time there actually, through the last couple of corners. So finishes a 10th behind his teammate. As the Burb makes it a 1-2 for the Red Bulls. With a 26.7. Very close to his teammate. Very, very close to his teammate. What can Elmo do? And he take the pole. And the front row lock out from the Red Bulls away. And put that Alpine on the top spot. We're about to find out. As he comes around the final corner, crosses the line and takes away that pole position. With a 26.5. Star defenders just under a 10th down in sector 1. Kentrum having a bit of a messy exit there. Out of the loop. Outlaw. Coming around slow. Down into Vale. Deployment all used up. Exiting Club onto the Hamilton straight, crosses the line, and jumps ahead of Kentrum into P4 with a 27.6. We got Luke out on track as well now in the Aston Martin. Bubbly, just under a 10th down as he comes through Maggots and Beckett's, and he makes some time up and get the Delta green. Yes, he can. Purple sector 2 there for Bubbly as he goes 2 temps up on his best lap so far. But the RB of Just Picky just ahead of him, starting his final lap. Hopefully it doesn't unsettle him as he crosses the line with a 127.6 for his P5. As Just Picky was prepared for a lap, but I think he's going to go for another one. As we jump on board with Luke coming down to Vale on the exit of Club. Where's he going to put the Aston Martin? He puts it at P4 with a 27.2, 7 tenths off pole position. Elmo going for another lap in, I think. 21 thousandths of a second down in sector 1. I think he's on the same set of tyres, so just getting a bit more practice, I think, before he goes into the pits. Puts on the last set of brand new softs and goes for his last run. See if he can try and improve on older softs. DLB Super Skills joining just in time as Elmo of the Void is 62 thousandths of a second down on his best so far. And he's going to dive into the pits because that fuel is low. But there's room for improvements for Elmo of the Void. As we jump on board with Just Picky, who has a big moment out the final corner, and he's going to have to go around again. And Kentrum's on his outlap, and the rest of the drivers now in the pits, except Outlaw, who's actually just come out. At DMB Super Skills joining the grid, making it 13 drivers, and 2 Mercedes now here. Finally moving from that Alpine, as they hated it so much. Thought I'd do them a little favour and finally get them out of that car. So into the Mercedes they go. As we got the Burb and Bubbly joining the track. got Kentrim in the Ferrari, starting his flying lap, finished P8 in the driver's standings last season, just ahead of IRS LB44, not too far behind Outlaw, who's in P5 at the moment. But yeah, Kentrim had some good results and some bad results last season. Put himself on the podium I think once, maybe twice, but had a bit of a mixed season. Hopefully this change of car into the Ferrari from the RB will give him some boost. I get some good points. He's not on a flying lap at the moment. IRS turned off. Who's on a lap then? Star Defender just started his flying lap. DMB Super Skills makes it out on track as well. He's going to be able to do a lap. See if he's going to jump the two McLarens and get any higher than that. Star Defender goes 32 thousandths per second up into Sector 1. Elmo of the Void starting his last lap as well. It's crunch time here in Tier 2 for round 1. Qualifying who's going to snatch the first pole position of the season. There is now a point available for pole position. So this could mean a lot at the end of the season. 1 point could mean everything. So pole position. Who's going to score the first point of the season? Star Defender. Looking good. Can he take it away from Elmo of the Void? Out the final corner he comes, crosses the line and takes pole off Elmo of the Void, who's not doing enough at the moment. Luke, P4 head of Outlaw. Just a DMB Super Skills hold them up possibly. The Bird runs wide. That's him over. He's not going to be able to take away pole from Star Defender. Elmo of the Void into the pits. Is there anyone else? Possibly Luke. Has he got enough? But I think that's it. I think Star Defender's taking away pole. I think we're just looking at the midfield now. Luke's only a 10th up. He's got DMV Super Skills ahead of him. Overtakes him into Stowe. But Star Defender on his debut has taken pole position here. That takes the first point of the season in Tier 2 as Luke crosses the line, stays P4. Bumpy jumps up to P5 ahead of Outlaw. DMB Super Skills with start P11. And that is the first qualifying session of the season over and done with. Star Defender ahead of Elmo, who's in a Red Bull sandwich of Burb in P3. Interesting grid we have got there. Can't wait for this race. I think it's going to be quite spicy. First race of the season, nothing to lose. A lot of drivers going to give it their all. There's the confirmation. Elmo was only 25 thousandths of a second behind Star Defender, who takes his first pole in IRS, ahead of the man who's top of the IRS Tier 2 pole positions. I think Elmo's got 12 or 13, and Star Defender just snatching it on his debut to take his first. Right, here we go then. It's going to be a formation lap before a 26 lap race. already been told it's a dry race, so it should be a medium to hard strategy, I think. Maybe a soft to medium, can't remember. I haven't raced in this game for a long time, so I'm sure we're about to see. Okay, maybe I was wrong. Maybe it's a soft to medium race. Top 4, all starting on the mediums. Outlaw as well. IRS will be 44, down in P9. In the middle of all the soft runners. 2 Ferraris opting for the softs. Interesting to see the 2 Astons splitting strategy. 2 Mercedes splitting strategy. But the 2 Red Bulls opting for the same strategy. First formation lap of the season. Hopefully no one gets disqualified. Let's see if people can impress on their debuts. Just Picky, Star Defender, both making their debuts today, amongst drivers that are pretty used to IRS now. I've been here quite a while, except Luke, to be fair, he's quite new, but the rest of them been here for 3 or 4 seasons, some more. IRS LB 44, obviously being here since season 1, the oldest driver on the tier 2 grid, not in terms of age, but in terms of longevity of being in the league. DMB Super Skills, another driver been here quite a while, amongst some new contenders. Just Picky starting in P8 on the softs, lining up for the first time. Star Defender, he's all ready to go. There he is, putting into the grid spot for the first time this season, as we wait for the 5 red lights to get going. Filippo's been disqualified on the grid spot. Here we go then. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights here at Silverstone, and away we go for the first time in the tier 2 season 11 season. We're underway with Star Defender with a good start, along with Elmo, who keeps his position, but he's being pressured by the Red Bull of Burb, who's got Luke up the inside, and there's contact in the background with Just Picky, who's around in the RB. Outlaw has dropped a position by the looks of it. IRS LB 44 up to P7, having a little battle with Outlaw right now. DMB Super Skills having a battle with Kentrim. Just Picky at the back of the pack, 3 seconds down at the moment. As what's happened there? Filippo's up the inside of the McLaren of IRS LB 44, who's lost another position to his teammate. But top 2, as it stands, Luke's gained a position on the Burb, who's dropped down to P4. 476 days without a win, and he's got some work to do from P4. Bubbly with a good start on those soft tyres. P5 for him. Nick Broom being pressured by Filippo, IRS LB44 there as well. Finn Kitts has gained a position on Kentrum. There he is. With 4 cars ahead, that's going to be tight. Goes around the outside onto the grass, onto the gravel, sorry. As DMV Super Skills loses the position to Finn Kitts and Kentrum. Finn going up the inside of both McLarens. Kentrum with a bit of contact with IRS LB44. DMV Super Skills around the outside. And it's all kicking off in the midfield. Filippo's ahead of Finn Kitts, who's coming up the inside. And I don't know what Filippo was doing there. That was a bit aggressive, driving into the side of Finn Kitts. And there's more contact as Nick Broom has been spun round by Filippo. We'll head back to the top, but in the midfield it's all kicking off. DRS is now enabled. So Elmo right behind Star Defender, followed by Luke, followed by the Burb, followed by Bubbly as Elmo gets right onto the back of Star Defender. Almost has contact. It's going to be an easy move for Elmo with the help of DRS, and swoops into the lead of the race. We got a yellow flag in the background of IRS LB44 is out of this race, and that is a safety car on Burb has just picked up a 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane, and a lot of drivers diving into the pits here, possibly for the hard tyres, and another 10 seconds for just Picky. So they're going to have to dive back into the pits here and get rid of that 10 second after this pit stop they make. Oh, they're serving it now, to be fair. Just Picky's serving it right now, so he's not going to lose much. There we go, 10 seconds served. Did the Burb? Yeah, the Burb served it as well. He's down to P9. Star Defenders dropped down to P5 behind Finn Kitts, who's yet to pit. Top 4 staying out, which is a bold decision here, because P5 down to P12 can go for the rest of the race now on these hard tyres, whereas the top 4 are going to have to absolutely send it and try to get themselves a pit stop ahead, possibly hoping for another safety car later on, which might save them. It's been a bit of a entertaining start, to be fair. Action all over the place. It's been a month since we've all last raced with each other, so understandably everyone's got their elbows up. First race of the season. 2 Ferraris doing well, 6th and 7th at the moment. I think Burb's had the worst start to this race, possibly just Picky as well. Down from 3rd position to 9th, just Picky down from 8th to P12. Obviously IRS LB44 out of the Grand Prix. In his home Grand Prix as well. Still got another 9 rounds though, which will be interesting because we have a new race, mandatory 2-stop, which is in the Netherlands in round 5. 2 sprint races as well. But yeah, that mandatory 2-stop is going to be a fun race. Safety car should be in at the end of this lap. Just Dicky just catching up. You're gonna have warm tyres there compared to the rest of them. But yeah, split strategies here. Top 4 are gonna have to break away from the rest of the field here and try to build themselves a pit stop. Star Defender technically is in the lead of this race. Bubbly technically P2 with Kentron P3, because the top 4 still yet to box, and the rest of the field all wanting to go for the rest of the race on the hard tyres. Elmer leading the way. First safety car of the season. First safety car restart. How's he going to handle it? Controlling the pace very well. Waiting for the right moment to go. I think out of this corner he'll break. There he goes, but Luke is wise to it. And Luke is right on the tail of Elmo here. Not the best of restarts for Elmo, but good enough as he keeps the lead of this race. Comes a bit wide, locking the tyres up. The Burb side by side with DMB Super Skills coming out of the loop through Aintree onto the Wellington Straight down into Brooklands. And he's got the job done with Filippo getting past DMV Super Skills as well. Kentrum's lost time, a lot of time, to Bubbly as Burb skips past him up into P7. But yeah, Star Defender just inside the DRS of Finn. Filippo picked up a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings running wide, validating the track as Finn Kitts has a look at Outlaw Kakameste, got a yellow flag, which I think was Nick Broom possibly, at the back there in the McLaren. But Finn Kitts moved up to P3. Star Defender nearly went outside that DRS gap of 1 second. He's broke away from Bubbly. So Star Defender with some great pace here on his debut. At this stage of the race, is looking the favourite to win. He's just sitting behind the top 4 who have yet to box. And will have to box in the next 10 laps, whereas Star Defender can just try and sit behind these top 4 until they box in DRS and comfortably cruise to victory. Burb has got past Bubbly to effectively make it a 1-2 for the Red Bulls at the moment. Here comes Finn Kitts again. Down the hanger straight. And what just happened to Outlaw? That stick drift for Outlaw, I think. As the cars just randomly went off the track. Bubbly's left the session. So we're going to have to throw him in back quickly, so he can get back into that one. But Outlaw, yeah, he's going to have to buy another controller. But Finn Kitts did get past Luke. Bubbly's rejoined. Star Defender still comfortably inside the DRS of Luke. Filippo getting past Kentron. for P7, who's got DMB super skills. Right behind him as well, with a great exit. Just picky. Also up the other side of Nick Broom for P10. But Nick Broom's not having none of it. Back around the outside. Unfortunately runs out of IRS to defend that one. DMB super skills did get past Tantrum. And now possibly might get past Filippo. Who runs wide. Has a bit of a moment. And DMB super skills should easily fly past, and Filippo needs to stop being a dirty driver here. As DMB super skills then retires from the race. Filippo gets a 3-second time penalty as well. Not really sure what Filippo is doing. Finn Kit's now in the lead of this race though. Elmo dropping down to P2. But tries sneaking up the inside. Didn't quite work out. Still got another chance though. Coming down the hanger straight with the DRS zone. Right behind Finn. Star defender still sitting there in the background in P4. Luke also having a little look. Applying the ERS. Trying to get past Elmo, but Elmo's going to dive up the inside of Finn. Luke as well. Bit too far back for Luke. Finn doing well on these soft tyres. There's no doubt the tyre wear on those softs will start to be real high. I think the mediums and the hards are in their prime. Right about now, a star defender did have a little look there at Luke, who then gets a good exit and overtakes Finn, who, like I said, is probably struggling with the tyre wear on those softs right about now. So we could see Finn diving into the pits in the next couple of laps. As his exits are not as good as the guys ahead of him on the medium tyres now. The Bourbon Bubbly still in 5th and 6th, which is a net P2 and 3 at the moment, because these 3 drivers here have to box. And here comes Luke for the lead of the race on Elmo. The DRS very effective here as we finish off lap 9 and then start lap 10 with Luke leading the way in the Aston Martin. Filippo with another time penalty there. 12 seconds now. The only driver on the track to be receiving any penalty so far as he goes into the pits for some reason. Filippo retires from the session after causing absolute mayhem with his aggressive driving and possibly dirty tactics. I'll say that straight up as the owner and the commentator. Was the only driver on the grid who's been aggressively dirty today. Everyone else has been racing pretty fair with each other. We have 10 drivers remaining, all in the points. Here comes Elmo, back into the lead. Finn staying out one more lap. Star Defender's going to have a little look here. Possibly thought about a lunge up the inside of Finn. Doesn't want to make any dodgy mistakes though. Doesn't want to risk it. And he's in this good of a position. Ooh, Star Defender's up the inside. Went for it that time. I think it's manages to defend this one. But Star Defender starting to have a little look at some of these drivers in front of him. With these much better tyres that he's on right now. As you can see, he's getting much better exits. Able to get the throttle down a lot quicker than Finn, which is putting Finn under pressure. Elmo leading the way. Might be able to keep the lead this lap as well. Luke a bit too far back. Possibly make a move down into Stowe. We should start seeing some pit stops in the next couple of laps from these drivers. Bubbly hanging on to the back of Burb. Kentrum currently in a race of his own in P7. Is being closed down by Just Picky, who's in P8. Got himself back up to P8 where he started after that lap 1 incident, which dropped him down to the back of the field. Star Defender has come together with Finn by the looks of it there, because Finn has basically stopped, and that's allowed the Burb to catch up a little bit, I think. Yeah, the Burb's caught up by 2 seconds there, where Finn's dropped out of the DRS from Star Defender. He has to deploy that ERS if he wants to get back in the second gap for the DRS. Oh, he's going to be real close. He's just about done it, I think. Yes, he has. Found some time through Maggots and Beckett's as well. But I think it's time for Finn to box and get rid of those soft tyres. Runs a bit wide, dives into the pits. Doesn't get a penalty. Good entry. Star Defender picked up a 3-second time penalty. He's going to be the race leader, but he's going to have a 3-second time penalty, which could allow the Burb to make a little push here, get under that 3-second gap and try to win the race. 476 days since he last won, and at the moment he's a 10th away from winning this race. He's going to need Star Defender to be held up here by Elmo and Luke. But I think the Burb might need Bubbly to start pushing on here and helping him with the DRS once Luke and Elmo boxes to try to catch up with Star Defender, who's going to have no DRS once the top two dive into the pits. Here comes Star Defender, having a little look at Luke. Up the inside into Stowe. Gets the job done, moves himself up to P2. Now he's got that 3-second, he's starting to push on. Doesn't want to be waiting around, because the Burb and Bubbly are not too far behind at all. Finn Kits rejoined in P8 behind Just Picky on a brand new set of medium tyres. So he's got a lot of work to do in these last 12 laps. We'll keep an eye out and see where he finishes his race. And we'll keep an eye out to see where Elmo and Luke rejoin. Kentrim now picking up a 3-second time penalty as well in the Ferrari P6. Just about keeping Just Picky at the same gap of 4.2 seconds. Star Defender in the lead now ahead of Elmo. He's going to come straight back at him with the DRS. As Luke dives into the pits then in the Aston Martin. Where will he rejoin? It's going to be near Finn, as the Burb and Bubbly move up into an almost podium position once Elmo boxes. Where's Luke? Luke is on the soft tyres then. There's Kentrim in the background. There comes Just Picky as well, and Finn Kits. So Finn's going to rejoin just ahead of Luke in P7. But Luke is on the soft tyres. Elmo's going to have to box soon. He's losing a bit too much time. And he doesn't realise that he's going to be down in 8th position. There he goes into the pits. He's going to rejoin just behind Luke, I think, in P8. And him, Luke and Finn are going to have to try and get as high as they can up the grid. Onto the softs for Elmo. There's Kentrim in the background. Moving up into P4 for Kentrim, which would be a solid result, but he's going to have Finn and Luke. Yeah, Elmo rejoins in P8 then, on the soft tyres. Star Defender in the lead of the race, 3.7 seconds ahead of the Burb. And there goes Just Picky spinning round from P8, from P7, sorry. Drops all the way down to P9 behind Nick. So the Burb is 9/10 away from winning this race. After 476 days without winning, Star Defender is here on his debut, potentially about to win with a Grand Slam of pole position. There, has he got fastest of that? Or someone else? Oh no, sorry, Finn's got fastest of that, so it's not a Grand Slam. But Bubbly as well, right behind the Burb in P3. Looking for a podium. Luke with the new fastest lap. Catching up to Kentrim. I think P4 will be the best Luke, Finn or Elmo can get. because that is 16-second gap to catch up with Bubbly and the Burb. It's going to be a bit too much. I think Burb and Bubbly need to help each other here with the DRS and try to catch up with Star Defender if they can. Because he's 4.2 ahead, Bubbly runs wide. They're not going to be catching up this lap. Luke 1.5 behind Kentrum. He would have been so happy to see himself in P4, but due to that penalty and the guys behind, it's going to be a P7 for Kentrum. Luke, Finn and Elmo absolutely flying. There's just Picky. Gets past Nick, who was a bit late on the brakes there, and dives into the pits to get rid of those tyres, I think. Hopefully it's not retirement. Luke gets past Kentrum. Kits will be up next. Bubbly's really got to get past the Burb here and use this DRS to good use. They're 4 seconds behind Star Defender. 4.2. They're losing time. I think Star Defender is just too quick. Kentrum hanging on to P5 at the moment, but no doubt I think Kits and Elmo will be making their way past the Ferrari. Luke with a new fastest lap. Finn with a bit of a lag there, goes up the inside of Kentrum into P5. Elmo up next. Ooh, bit of a moment for Kentrum. That's going to be Elmo up the inside. And an easy move into P6. Kentrum coming back. Had some strong straight line speed there. Elmo is going to be chasing down Finn next. Try and get himself into a top 5. The Burb 4.4 behind Star Defender. Bubbly just not quick enough to use the DRS to get past the Burb and try to help each other towards Star Defender, who's comfortably winning this race. Elmo makes his way past Finn Kits for P5. Can he close the gap with Luke and try to get a strong 4th position? I think Luke just had a bit of a moment there on the exit of club. Star Defender leading the way in his debut race. Bubbly right behind the Burb, but can't get past him, and they can't close that gap to Star Defender. It looks a little bit closer this lap, does Bubbly. Can he get Maggots and Beckett's right? No, he can't. Use a bit of IRS, but just not close enough. As the burb applies a little bit of IRS there, 4.6. But a star defender's gonna pull that gap again once he uses his IRS, so that's not gonna be a bit pointless. Pinket's still right behind Elmo, who's closing that gap up to Luke. Just inside the 1 second. RSW44 has left the session. His teammate is still in the race. P10, 1 point. Bubbly left the session again, no way. Let's send Bubbly an invite, try to get himself back into it. He's lost the DRS, the AI has lost some DRS. Bubbly's gonna need to rejoin quickly. Elmo with the void getting past Luke. P4. That's unfortunate for Bubbly. The AI is on 100. Maybe they're gonna have to turn it up a little bit more. Finkits could get himself back to P4 here in the last couple of laps. Those medium tyres will start to feel a bit better than those softs ahead of him, I think. Might be able to make him charge back up into P4 ahead of Elmo and Luke. The burb not able to answer Star Defender though, who's nearly made the gap to 5 seconds now. Luke coming back at Elmo for that P4. Outlaw catching up with just Picky here for P8 as well. That gap is closing Outlaw on the fresher tyres by 4 laps. 2.7 a gap. We'll keep an eye on that in the last couple of laps as well. Bubbly's back in now. Gonna try close the gap up to the burb. Elmo right on the back of Luke again. Gets the job done. But I think they're just trying to help each other to close that gap between Bubbly. Unfortunately, they're out of laps. There's no chance they're going to catch 11 seconds in 3 laps. Outlaw now right behind just Picky. Points to points, and they're battling for 6 points here. Sorry, 4 points. Just Picky and P8, 4 points. Outlaw P2, P9, 2 points. Here comes Outlaw then, to put himself into P8. Just picky, braking late though. Outlaw around the outside of Stowe. Good move. Almost stood ahead of Luke. 10 seconds the gap between him and Bubbly. Is coming down, but it's not coming down quick enough. Star Defender out front, in a league of his own, controlling the pace between him and Burb, just sitting at 5 seconds. The Burb not able to get anywhere near him. Elmo now under 10 seconds. To Bubbly. What can Finn do then on these mediums? He's got 2 laps to try to get past Elmo and Luke on those softs. Just picky, still behind Outlaw here. Might be able to take the position back off Outlaw. Here he comes. With the DRS. Moves to the outside of Outlaw. And moves back up into P8. Outlaw again having a little look up the inside. Wasn't quite close enough for a move. Tries a little switch back sort of. Not quite close enough. Just picky. Near enough out of IRS. Outlaw looking for a way by. Thought about going up the inside there. Gonna get a good exit. Onto the Wellington straight. Get the job done into Brooklands. Yes, he can. I don't think that's job done for Outlaw just yet. He's just picky. He's gonna have another chance to get past Outlaw down the hanger straight. But we're on the last lap here with Star Defender. The Burb trying to do everything he can to reduce that gap to 3 seconds. Nick Broom picks up a 3-second time penalty, who's just ahead of Star Defender. But I think Nick's just got enough pace to stop himself from getting lapped in the first race. But Star Defender coming through cops for the last time on his debut. Took pole position, taking his first ever pole position in IRS. Been in the lead for the majority of this race. His teammate is sitting in P2 to make it a 1-2 for Red Bull, but Star Defender has been the man of the show today. A debut drive that will be remembered in Tier 2 as Star Defender comes around the final corner to take victory in round 1 to win his first ever race in IRS, and takes victory for Tier 2 round 1 Great Britain, followed by the Burb in the Red Bull to make it a 1-2 and the best possible start for the Red Bull team. Bubbly comes home in P3. First race for Ferrari, takes a podium, well deserved for him. Luke takes away that P4 from Elmo on the last lap ahead of Finn Kitts. 4th, 5th and 6th for them. Kentrum P7 inside the points, a double points position for the 2 Ferraris. Outlaw Kakameste, a race that could have been a lot better for him, but unfortunately he's going to come home in P8. ahead of Jess Picky, who just had a bit of a moment there. On his debut, we'll be inside the points as well for RB in P9, picking up 2 points there, and then we'll wait for Nick Broom, the sole remaining McLaren, who is in P10, and will be coming home with 1 point in his first race for McLaren. But star defender will be my driver of the day today. Absolutely bossed the race as Nick crosses the line. But yeah, star defender, P1 in qualifying and P1 in the race. A very well deserved driver of the day. Finn Kitts will be another shout there, coming from P13 to P6, but I think a debut race to remember for star defender. Takes victory and takes driver of the day. Unfortunately not a grand slam because Luke takes away that fastest lap with a 128.7, but good things to come for tier 2. A first race of the season, season 11, pretty entertaining. Some good bits, some bad bits, but overall pretty good from tier 2. Hope you enjoy watching this race back. If you watched it live, hope you enjoyed it. Tier 1, unfortunately, is not running at the moment due to the drivers, not enough drivers being involved to get the tier up and running. We are out recruiting, so hopefully in the next couple of weeks we can get tier 1 up and running, but we'll be back here next Sunday with tier 2, same time again, which will be Belgium. It's back on the calendar, and that is 6th of April. So Sunday, 6th of April, 7:30, round 2, Belgium, tier 2. Hope you've enjoyed it, and we'll see you next week. Peace out.